Yeah, just tell me recording in progress.
Okay. Uh-oh. Now it's. The hell? Okay.
I'm gonna put up there.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay.
Then we have to turn the camera. Yeah, let me see. How do you turn the camera around on this? I did it on mine, but I don't know how to do it on yours. Sorry.
I don't think I know either. Never having had.
Doesn't have us. Maybe if I move this over. Oh, Jen's remoting in. She's not gonna be here. I don't see a. Is there a place to turn the camera?
Let's see. Yeah. Security, participants, chat, share screen. Would share screen do it?
No.
No.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Show captions.
Where's your camera app on your computer?
Hmm. So there's photo booth. That's not what you mean, no?
No, is there a camera?
Hey, I'm joining on the Zoom here.
Not that I've ever used.
It's
I can-
recording. I can hear you. It's probably good
It's not
enough.
on the Zoom.
Can you guys hear me?
Where was it on yours when you did it?
Well, when it popped up, it said change. It said,
Oh, it gave you the
Yeah.
option.
yeah. Either that or I can turn this around. And then the camera will show.
Hey, it's Jen. I joined on my
Mhm.
phone. Can you
All
hear
right.
me?
So if we do this. There we go. I don't want to see my head. What can you see?
Well, I still see it tiny, tiny.
That's okay.
I can see everything pretty much.
So let's change the view.
Can you guys hear me?
There we go. I think that's about everybody.
Thank you.
Are we ready to go?
Hey, it's Jen. Can you guys hear me?
Awesome. Okay, we're calling the meeting to order. It's 7:15. I apologize to our viewing audience. We had technical. Let's see. First item on the agenda is the agenda. We're going to have a chance to review the agenda. Awesome. Any discussion? And we got a second. Let's have a vote. All in favor? Unanimous adoption of the agenda. Moving right along, has everyone had an opportunity to review our minutes from our last meeting, February meeting, which was posted on share. Share the plans and ask for vote. Any discussion or correction? Okay, can I have a motion of minutes? Second?
A second.
All right, call vote, all in favor indicate. Raising your hands. Again, a unanimous adoption of the minutes. Next on our agenda is the director's report, but since Kim's gonna be late, why don't we scramble and go to Richard in connection with the treasurer's report?
Right, we have two pieces of information. You've got one page that shows the profit and loss through March. Shows our net income, and we did get the funding from the town for $95,000. So that's in the bank and the.
Dispatch to the family base.
Next page is the total.
Dispatch 6005. 6005. 5-year timeout thing.
Capcom totals, which shows that we did
Number
have
20.
100 and something thousand in the bank because of the $95,000
So if they're late,
gift or not gift, deposit from the town.
19-year-old female, she's conscious and breathing. She's up on the roof threatening to jump. People have a response.
Is there anything of note, either in connection or?
Not really, we did a lot of very good, we got a lot of, good fundraising income in there with the annual appeal and whatnot, so that was a little higher than we anticipated. But, we're pretty much, we have like 2,000 on the annual appeal already, might be holdover from the, December, request, but, since our budget there is $15,000, we got 2,000 already in, that's pretty good. Other than that, not really a whole lot to look at.
Anybody have any questions in connection with the various reports that Richard have posted?
Good, okay.
We good?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to our agenda. We'll go into the director's report because. And Sarah, how are we going to bring the document?
Okay, there's two primary things that I wanted to talk about. The first one is the Earth Day, and beyond Stephen Town cleanup. I know that Jen went to the town board to see if, she could get buy-in from the town board to, help provide volunteers, look into the liability issues if there are any, and also potentially help with gathering things that we'll need for bags. The vests, I think Jen has covered already, bug spray, whatever else we'll need. There was interest in it, both from the town board, Diana Clark specifically, and also Julie Kakoulis from the, is it called the Steventown Environmental? I'm not exactly sure what the name of the group is, but the environmental group in Steventown. She's also interested. So we're gonna get together on Monday here at 6 p.m. and discuss how we're gonna roll it out, how we're gonna recruit volunteers, any issues that we have around liability, how we're gonna deal with those. And I think that Diana's gonna troubleshoot getting the transfer station to allow us to have people bring bags of garbage for free on a given day or something. And we're planning to have sort of a launch event at the beginning, which would probably be right before Earth Day that weekend, which is the 20th of April. And then a thing at the end where we'll hopefully be able to give some sort of prize to whoever got the most garbage. Pick up the most garbage. So it sounds like that's gonna be a go, and I'll know more about that after Monday.
It was great because there was, it's all over Facebook, people talking
Right,
about.
complaining about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I know, it really is.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, it's perfect timing.
That's great.
Yeah, the other bigger thing was, Ed Roston's wife, Polly, at the, potluck, and mentioned that she wanted to do a Steventown cookbook with the library. And Jen and I met with Polly, and, we thought that it would make sense maybe to have it be part of a much larger fundraising event that would be, probably either like right before Thanksgiving or right before Christmas or right before Mother's Day, around some event where people are very food focused and also where they're looking for gifts for people, so that we wouldn't actually sell the cookbooks. We would give cookbooks out to people who came, but we would sell the event, which would be a lot more money than the cookbook would be bringing in anyway. So that was kind of our thought, to have it be a part of a fundraising thing. And Polly's looking into finding the cheapest publishers that she can. And she's already sent us like an email to recruit people's recipes. So getting moving on that. Okay. Any chance we could use yours or is that going to take too much time?
No. I'll do it back.
Well, I am a little organized. Yes, I do.
Fair enough, own it, it's good.
I am the secretary.
Well, you do some of the best minutes I've ever seen.
I second that.
Awesome minutes. Best upper Hudson Library.
You need that?
What's that? I'm not sure.
Oh, that was.
We just had Lego
Something
fun.
technical for
No.
the computer. So okay for me to take this one? Yeah.
Let me just make sure I can get.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe you can't because I started it. Because I was able to start it because we were both on the account.
To join. I think.
Okay.
Wait, let me,
So she's recording on this one, do we need to,
we probably have to stop it and then start it.
yeah,
Okay, well, tell me if that's what you want me to do.
Do you know what the login is for hours?
For the Zoom?
Mhm.
And I just go to it and I'm in, you know, I don't have, I
It
don't-
just, this just died.
never mind. All right, never mind. Let's just keep it like this. I'll keep taking the minutes as I am. I won't be thinking about my fancy minutes. So those were the two major things, that came out of the marketing committee. I know that you're having this Saturday another, jam, which I'm not gonna be able to make it to, but, I'm sure it's gonna be great.
No, that'd be great. We just, Scott and I just got together and for the list of songs we got.
Cool.
Yeah, we also heard back from a bunch of people and making tweaks to how we're gonna do it based on the feedback, so.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And we just scheduled one for April 20th.
Okay, I'll definitely try to come to that one.
Yeah.
But do you still need volunteers to help with the Harry Potter? Yes. Because I didn't want to forget that, because I know that you brought that up at the meeting, but I don't know the date.
April 12th. That's 6:00.
Can you guys hear me now by any chance?
Yes. Hi.
Okay, I've been on, I can hear a little bit, but not great.
Okay, I'll plug the microphone in. So do you no longer need that? You do still need it. It's never gonna change. I have to stay in my seat. Well, I also had all my notes.
I get it.
One other thing, I know that Ari is not here and not feeling well, but, she's pulling together the Easter event for next weekend, and I was able to get, a Zima's gift certificate and also a Bluebird gift certificate, which I have here today. So
Yeah,
I'm-
Yeah.
9
So far, so.
Oh, no.
But better. I'm sure.
Eric.
Oh, good, good, good.
across Long Branch Avenue and Best Road,
And I also.
meaning for
check the
ambulance activity grow.
So that's a check for just grants or whatever's needed, the food and stuff.
House EMS call
Zima's gift certificate, and this is-
1485 neighborhood Ivy, Scott Avenue, Barracks. 1928,
I'm
that's
sure I have
one.
one of those things in my notes, but I forgot.
There's always next month's meeting.
Hang on, hang on.
That's right. And while we've been jumping around, Pam, are you ready to give us our director's report?
There's a lot. Okay, we were very busy with programs this month. Not sure if you can see all the things that we did. We have a lot of stuff coming up in the next month and a half or so. Most of our programs went really, really well. We had 11 kids for the yoga program, which was fascinating. I saw pictures, I wasn't here, but all these little guys. Listening to books and yoga, it was great.
Yeah, no, I can't make out too much.
Have been getting technology help from Cornell, and they've come twice now, and each time they've had people come and need help, which is great. So she's coming back next month. In terms of what's coming up, tomorrow night we have our teen
First
night,
one,
called the
turn
Eden
on up.
Adventure, because we have a young lady.
Just
who-
had their driveway done.
She's got a house here in Steventown and lives in New Jersey as well, and she's Chinese and wants to introduce some Chinese stuff to kids in Steventown. So she's bringing lots of food from H Mart, and we're gonna watch a Chinese movie, and I don't know what else we're gonna do, but it should be fun. The Easter party's coming up, which we do need help with. I'm not sure if you guys talked about that already. Then we have, I've got it just listed right now as downsizing your home, but it's a program about moving for seniors, or not even just seniors, it's really for anybody who wants to downsize and to trim and compact and get rid of things.
I don't remember seeing it.
So I think that should be a really interesting program.
Might not have been on that call.
What day is that?
About it.
That one's on
Might have
Friday.
been one that me and
No,
Rick
sorry,
were on.
that's April 2nd. April's, yes, sorry. It's been a long day. April 2nd. The solar eclipse program that we're having is gonna be run by Rebecca and Sadie, our new volunteer. I am gonna be out of town. We have to go to Ohio, so I won't be around.
Yeah, he was like in the garage.
And
Yeah,
then
we were there.
solar eclipse, we're gonna have, I just put a viewing, we'll put it out there, and if people want to get together and watch the eclipse, they can. We
Just
have
have
solar eclipse
one
classes
second duty
that
crew.
will start getting out on Monday,
How long ago
the
was it?
Monday before the eclipse.
Mm,
So hopefully
Sometime in the
we'll,
last year, maybe in the summer.
keep, some of them.
Well, he came to the roast beef dinner afterwards,
People have already been asking about them, so.
so probably was in the summer.
I remember there was one when I first moved here. And
Yeah.
that was probably the first time I came to the library was for a solar. eclipse.
Oh, really? That was, I missed.
Yeah,
I was-
the ambulance reader's back, second
College
duty
for that
crew.
one, now we're into this.
Yeah, so ambulance from mutual aid,
We're gonna be doing
out to
it.
EMS call,
Harry
New York
Potter,
State
what room
Police
so
Barracks,
last week I
114,
went to
5 Route
middle
9.
school, or middle school, high school.
across from Kodak Drive and Vancouver Road.
The
Repeating
teacher's name
for
is Jennifer,
Thompson
and I
Ambulance,
forgot her
second
last
duty
name.
crew, National Ambulance for
um,
mutual aid,
We did,
out
she
to
showed me how
EMS
she did
call,
this Harry Potter breakout room,
New York
which is very
State
cool.
Police Barracks,
You go
1485
into this room
Route
and
9,
kids
across from Kodak Drive and
to have
Anderson Road,
to,
1932
solve all
dispatcher
these
21.
different puzzles in a certain amount of time, and if they don't solve them, then they don't win. Technically, they can't break out. But she's giving us all of the supplies, all of the things that we need to do to have this breakout room here at the
That
library. So, I'm gonna give it a try. So hopefully I'll be able to do it. I don't know, I'm gonna have to practice, because I don't know all the answers and all these little clues and stuff. It's gonna be tough.
Well, we'll know where to find you and all the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Not breaking out.
And that's
So
April 12th.
are the supplies like reusable or just at one time?
No, they're reusable, yeah. Yeah, she even had potion in the middle of the room that if the kids didn't know what to do, she would drink the potion and say, okay, I just got an elixir of whatever, and I can help you now because now I'm smarter and I can understand these puzzles. But it was fun. It was really cute. So, I'm good. The reason we're doing it here is because she only had it open to a certain grade level at the school. And I know that there's lots of other kids who wanted to do it. So I'm gonna invite families to come in and work as groups, or maybe groups of kids, or, so if they have little ones, it's not really, it's hard. It's not a thing that's appropriate for the little guys, but maybe mom and daddy there, it's that kind of thing. Should be fun. We're having a deer deterrent program for your garden. Chris Ferraro came and she was fantastic with the last, she did the,
How are we on? Yeah.
she did making a, what was it called? Pollinator Paradise Garden. So, and I got a lot of great feedback from her.
You mind dropping me at the library? Getting
Also
fuel?
do a caregiver financial planning.
I'll, come
We're
back
starting
later
a
to
baby cafe
finish
again.
paperwork.
We have art speaking in stories with John Brown coming up, and then the next supply slot is gonna be the gardening supply.
Kim will give me a ride.
And I'll talk a little bit more
Thank
about
you.
this in a minute. Our circulation for February has been about the same, nothing really significant here or there. Actually, it's almost exactly the same, as it was last year too. And same thing for the visits in last year in 23, we had 516. In February this year, we had 518. So it's really, we're staying steady, which is good. In terms of patron registration, year to date, we've had 17 adults and 4 youth registered to be patrons of the library, which is really good. Just in 2 months, we've had that many people register, which is really nice to see.
Do we know what drove them?
No, I don't have that.
You didn't ask him 30 questions when
No, usually don't. We try not to do that too much. We didn't, I added a little bit of stuff to the collection, not a huge amount. So in terms of what I've been doing for the month, 2 DA meetings. The big news at Upper Hudson is that we're not completely losing Rodden. So Rodden is our tech guy he knows everything. He knows about every single thing there is in all of our libraries, and we'd be lost without him. And we've already used him just the past couple weeks. So he's not leaving Upper Hudson. Well, he's leaving Upper Hudson, but he's now going to be a contractor. So he will be called in as necessary. And he's already been called in for the library. So what we've been dealing with is trying to switch our internet over to the fiber cable instead of the fiber wires, instead of staying on the copper wires. And it's taken 3 days of back and forth. This is the IP address, no, this is not the IP address, this is then how you do this, and Robin walking me through how to get onto Meraki. So it's just been a mess. But we're back, we're all, as of 2 o'clock this afternoon, we're all set and ready to go. So we are now working at the best, or the highest internet speed that we can. So I'll be putting that out there too, because we were at one of the lowest as what we could. So that was good. I've done a couple of different virtual trainings for summer reading program. Staff meeting did. I've been also working, I don't know if everyone remembers, but the Premier Wireless T-Mobile, we're doing those tablets to circulate. And we are almost there. I've got them, they've been configured. They showed me some mock-ups of what they will look like. I've got a whole bunch of apps on there, a whole bunch of links to resources in Steventown. So we'll see what else we need to put on them, which we can do later on, which is not a bad thing. So that'll happen soon, actually. I did hear back from about two different grants that we applied for. The first one was a Penguin Random House Rural and Small Libraries grant, which we did not get. It was a long shot. We did, however, get half of what we asked for at Stewart's for the summer reading program. So I have a nice $1,000 check from Stewart's. So we can put that towards hopefully a program directly if we get one, and or if we get more money, and if we don't, then it'll just go towards supplies and books and things.
So we got $1,000 from them. We'd asked for 2 and we got 1.
Yep. Yep. Which is pretty good. Last time, yeah.
Great.
And we'll hear about the third grant sometime in May. I met with Doug North, who's the president of the Berlin Library. They have been trying to figure out whether or not they should start a summer camp like what we have. And I don't think they didn't quite understand all of the things that they have to do with the county and, you know, all the regulations and all that other stuff. So he's putting it out there that they're going to possibly see if they can't develop scholarships to then pay for kids to come to the Steventown camp. So we'll see where that goes. I'm not sure. I've met, with summer camp, I've met with PJ Roeder 2 times now about where summer camp's going to be. Summer camp is going to be at the fire hall this year and probably next year as well, until we can figure out our backyard situation and then we'll move it back to here. But the fire hall, we just have to, Mr. Zwack, I think it was Henry, I can't remember exactly which ones. He's gonna go back to the board of directors, make sure that everything is good. We've asked for water to be put out so that we can have like an outdoor spigot that the kids they can have access to. Putting up the tent as well as using the pavilion. They're gonna clean out their garage and they are going to the town is gonna get a refrigerator. They have, metal storage cabinets that they're gonna put in there so that we can use everything, make sure it has a lock. They're putting electricity in down there so that they can have electricity as well. So they're really trying to make it so that we can use everything. We're in a bind and they
And access to bathrooms.
porta potties. Yeah, porta potties and hand wash stations is what we're gonna do. I talked to Debbie Fleming, who's works for Columbia County, or excuse me, Rensselaer County Youth Services, and she went through the regulations for what you have to have for a summer camp. You only need to have shelter, adequate storage for food, and access to a phone. Says nothing about bathrooms.
Wow.
It's a little anti. So technically, yeah.
Change over time.
Yeah, exactly. She and I were both like. So technically, we're fine, because we have shelter, we have food storage, and we have, phones. Everybody has a phone in the house. Yeah, so I was kind of surprised by that. The one thing that was nice to see is that, Mr. Slack was very, willing and wanting to help and saying that the fire department really sees how great of a camp it is and that we're doing this great service for the town and that they want to help. They don't, they're not quite ready to let us use the facilities every day, all the time, that kind of thing. But they definitely get it really messy. So I thought that was really good to see. So, and he is very specifically meant to like said that. So that was good. So now I guess we can definitely say camp is up there. The other thing, Jessica Ronte is going to be our director. Yay. So she's on board, which is great. And I got a text from Taylor Meyer, who was our assistant director 2 years ago, who's also fantastic. She works at this school, she's a teacher, and she's interested in the assistant director position. So we're going to talk a little bit more and see if she's really going to be able to do that. So those are the two big positions that we have to worry about, and right now that's great, that's all set. Breakout room. Been meeting with Ari about Easter party, attended the town board meetings, went to an e-content advisory committee meeting. One of our exciting things is that we have a new pass for, it's not a library, but it's for the New York State Parks. Gives free vehicle access to all state parks in New York State, as well as any institution that is run by the New York State Parks or the Department of Environmental Conservation. So I expect it to be used like, I want to go to the Cherry Plain and I want to take parking, here's the pass. Which I know that when my kids were little, that would have been huge for me. So I'm really happy that we have that. I'm gonna start advertising it. And we'll have it so that people can take it out for a few days. And if they want to go to Cherry Plain or if they want to go down to Connet, wherever they
So it'll be
can.
just like the museum passes, so we'll work the same way.
Yep. Yeah, it was, and I have to thank Cheryl for that, because she's the one who said, oh, they have an Empire State Pass. I was like, let's look into that. So, thank you, Cheryl. The other great thing is that, so Chris Ferraro, she's the woman who did the program on the pollinator paradise, and she's the master gardener from Cornell Cooperative Extension. She was looking at our gardens and she's concerned because we have what could possibly be an invasive species growing in our front, those big bushes that are all twining and going together. She's pretty sure it's on the invasive species list. She also has but the one great thing is that she's giving us the library fee. She's going to come up with a proposal for what she can do to help us figure out what we want for the front. She has something called a bubble plan that she creates for $500. But she would tell us all of the plants that would do well and where they would do well and kind of give us a map of what we could do. We could do it ourselves instead of having to have a landscaper come in and pay a couple $1,000. So she's gonna send a proposal over and I'll bring it to the next meeting. And then one thing that's not on here is that I spoke to Kirk Mitchell today, and yesterday, actually. That door that needs to be replaced, it's going to be more than what we thought it was gonna be, because he said it's an old door and they're making doors smaller than they used to. So he's gonna have to take out the entire, it was that we thought he was just gonna pay for the door and we're gonna just rehang it. He's gonna have to take the whole thing apart and,
Put a new frame.
put a new frame and do it all that way, because otherwise it's just gonna have cracks in it and we'll be in the same place. So he's gonna come up with another proposal and I will bring it back to everybody at the next meeting. But he said the door will cost about the same, but it's gonna be labor and materials and stuff, so that's gonna happen on that one. And we had an incident, I don't know if everyone noticed, but the railing on the front step is down because one of our patrons, needed help getting up and she grabbed onto the pole and it broke and she fell. She was okay. We tried to make sure over and over again. She said, no, I'm fine, but we filled out an incident report and, have it all documented. But the brackets broke as well as came out of the rotting wood. So, Kirk is going to he's gonna replace the brackets on both sides along with the wood on one side, because the one side he did last year.
Yeah.
The good side. So, I asked if we could replace the brackets as well, just so to make sure that they don't break again, because they are original to this thing. Is that enough? Yeah, like that was- Yes, we need to deal with the annual report, so, I don't know if anyone read through it or if you have questions about it. Oh, thank you. The one weird and big thing that definitely, it took me some time figuring out what to do with and making sure that it was correct and that I did the right thing is the number of visits to our website. We're at like over 1 million, and last year it was a very small, yeah. I went to my reports, I got them both, and I actually highlighted each one that I used for each year, and those were the numbers. I actually added them up 5 times because I'm like, this can't be right, this can't be right.
It jumped out. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
what's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know why. All I can think is maybe that there's bots happening, like, accessing it over and over again. I have gotten some email messages from our website, like, spam stuff, so I'm wondering if that could happen. But all I know is that what Meraki gave me is what Meraki gave me. So, I will look into it a little bit more, because now I can log into our Meraki system. Meraki's our firewall. So I can go into that and then see if it can give me unique users. I can get unique users for every day. And look and see what it can do, but it's gonna take some research to figure out why those numbers are so high.
But even unique users every day, I mean, someone might be coming to the website multiple days, so.
Right, so those visits, you could have 10 visits in a day by one person and multiply that by 10 people in one day, it's 100, yeah, so. I don't think I was getting that kind of traffic at all.
It was a huge difference then.
I know. I'm gonna actually see if Dr. Hudson can also help me with just kind of seeing if there's something wrong in there. So,
Kim, is this the first year that they asked you for your feedback on the report itself, how you felt about the report? Because I thought that was quite interesting.
yes, they did.
And do you think they asked that because they know it's green and they want to kill it?
No, I think that they just want people's opinions, and we were encouraged by Dr. Hudson to put in the opinions that we have of it. And honestly, it's a good report for us, like to see where we are. But when it comes to what do you do with those numbers, I mean, it takes a good 2 or 3 days to put this report together. Why are we not using it? Other library systems in other states, you can get those numbers and you can look at them and how do I relate, how do I compare to this library, and
Yeah, if you're gonna put that much effort into it, they should be providing you with something back that is informative, that helps you improve whatever it is you want to improve, yeah.
Exactly, that was my opinion on this. It was like, okay, I'm gonna give that out there. So.
And do you think you'll be getting some sort of response at some point? No.
No, yeah,
Well, I went and I looked at the Upper Hudson's annual report that they put out, which, you're featured in that.
Oh, the annual,
Before Hudson Library,
the,
that annual report.
Yeah.
About it.
where am I featured? Oh, the first page.
The first
Yes,
page,
yes, I
right.
forgot about that. Yeah, I was really surprised by that. It was kind of nice.
Yes, it was very nice, and, you know, I would just sort of, like, clearly, I would imagine they're sort of maybe in, you know, a rock and a hard place kind of position, that they're being asked to collect this information and
Mm,
give it to the powers that be. I mean, this is not uncommon and, you know.
Yeah, no,
government.
the little like question there, that we can't do the LD itself. I don't know, come up with Hudson, so. And you know, it's one of those things like everyone's, oh, state report, yes, we know it's terrible, yes, we know it doesn't, you know, what are we gonna do with it? So they're trying to, and they did take feedback last year, and they did change a few things last year
Oh, that's
based on
good.
that feedback, so. I'm hoping that if enough people say something, maybe
Yeah.
something will happen.
Yeah, that'd be good, yeah.
So this has been vetted by Upper Hudson and John Lieutenant, or someone from Upper Hudson Lieutenant?
The annual report.
Yeah,
Our annual report, yes, yeah, it's been, John has looked through it already, DLB has accepted it. You just need to vote, an official vote to accept it.
They didn't have any comment on that jump in visits.
Nope, no, because when I do, with all of those things, I have to put in some kind of an explanation, whenever there's something in there like that, so I put in the explanation and they've accepted all of it without any, I had a couple of, I think I had 2 things that needed to be fixed, but that was it, so this is the final with corrections and what.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that, we approve the annual report.
Second that.
yeah, we've had some discussion. Any further discussion? Okay, let's put it to a vote. All in favor of adopting the report, indicate so by raising your hand. It's like yet another unanimous vote.
You're just saying that over and over, so Sarah has to vote unanimous without a computer.
You're absolutely right.
I think that's about it in my director's report. Oh, and just so everybody does know, I am gonna be away from. We're leaving on Easter, so the 31st, and we'll be back hopefully on the 9th.
This one you're chasing the sun.
We're chasing the sun, but we're also doing a program for Logan's, at his hometown in Ohio for the Finding Fire, so we're making it.
Well, finding fire in times of solar eclipses.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And actually the summer reading theme this year is Find Your Adventure. Oh, no. It's perfect for Finding Fire, so.
Can I just confirm, I think you were looking at the wrong wrong month in the calendar. The annual meeting is on the 14th, not the 16th, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the wrong date.
Yeah, you were looking at probably March's calendar, but I didn't have it on my calendar, so then I was like, oh, I'm ready to sign Tuesday, wait. Okay,
No, yes, definitely.
okay.
I think it's on the 21st. April.
I don't have the calendar, I didn't bring anything.
This says Sunday, April 16th, so I was just thinking the closest Sunday was the 14th, but it's the
Where-
21st.
I
Is
thought.
that on the
so.
report?
Yeah,
I don't know. Wait,
Where did
at the top of the annual, the director's
It's on
report.
my computer.
I have 21st.
You have the 21st?
Uh-huh.
So do I.
21st then.
Okay, yeah. At 4, is that what you have?
You could bring my now.
That's gonna be a very busy number of days. There's so much stuff going on. April 21st.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff going on all at once.
Yeah, is that a birthday?
That's the
weekend?
Earth Day weekend, yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're having a jam session.
Yeah, the deer jam.
And the jam session is the same day as the deer deterrent program, but that's at 11 o'clock in the morning, so it shouldn't overlap.
I'm excited about it.
I might be another way.
Deer.
If you want to, just let me know. It's not like- Well, maybe you have time.
Well, I was
to go
thinking that
to
when I was
the deer
reading it, I was
thing,
like, well.
And then go home for a little bit and then come back. That's a long day. Okay.
Let's drop down to your projects.
Um,
You're on, Kim, again.
Major projects would be the
The
door.
door.
Sorry, talked about
Already
that.
covered?
We done.
We're putting on. I have spoken with PJ about, the backyard, and he is trying to figure out how he can help us out, how the town can help us out, so that's in the works at least, so,
With the goal to having enough eradication of the wet that the camp lines up back here after this year.
maybe a pavilion,
Yeah.
maybe a playground, something, but he's definitely wanting to see if we can't figure stuff out with that. And then as for the DLD project, we won't hear anything until June or July. So that's all pretty quiet.
Is Jen, are you out there?
No, she's off.
Can I just ask a question? What's the third grant that you're applying for, that we applied for, that we're waiting to hear about?
Shoot, I don't know.
It's okay.
No, I can find out really quickly.
We need to make it into development.
And also as we proceed with trying to fix the yard and with Catalan, don't forget that grant, I think that's an annual one. It was like a lawnmower.
Oh,
grant or something.
Wait, are you talking about the Kubota one?
Voter.
Yeah, we are keeping that definitely as a
Yeah.
huge possibility for doing what we want to do.
I
there.
think that's annual. So it can be-
I can get, it's Dollar General, sorry, Dollar General.
Okay.
And
How much was it? Did we apply for?
it's like for 3,000.
And how is it positioned?
What's that?
How is it positioned? What are we
To use towards a camp direct, or a summer reading program.
Oh.
container.
also for some reason?
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Oh, it's Jen.
Oh.
I think it's the ambulance driving her off.
Ambulance.
And then it comes with siren, here's the Easter bunny. That's like-
We're up to the grand calendar. Time.
To the, annual report yet? Yes.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, talk about the website stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there's just no way to. I know. There's no way.
It's a really good website.
Yeah, I think it's a good website. We worked hard on that thing.
Millions of people.
Everyone loves it.
Social phenomena. Small rural library, gets 6 million hits.
Is that though from, Hudson? Like, how do we get those numbers? Those are from the Milwaukee, our firewall. So I'm gonna do some more research and see what I can find. Okay.
Is there?
Yeah, so maybe there's something trying to.
Yeah.
Do you see anything like, do you see an increase after a certain date? Time period? I'm just wondering if it has to do with, when we address the problem with URL.
Oh, let me just look at my.
You lost the password.
Then you're toast.
Well,
I'm just wondering if that, in other words, is that gonna be weird for other, compared to other libraries? Why don't raise any flags or
I'll be
something?
embarrassed about doing. it.
Exactly.
Doesn't sound like they do much comparative view anyway.
Yeah.
3 people who look at it.
And there was a jump, like, I think it jumped by like 30,000 from August to September.
But in the grand scheme of a million, 30,000 is not
Wow.
much.
Wow. Well, 30,000 and then another 47,000 in October, from September to October. And then it stayed kind of set at the 140-ish, 140,000-ish visits per month. So yeah. I'll figure it out.
2,700 population, how many times?
Right.
Spend a lot of time checking on this.
There's one lady who can't remember her hours.
Exactly. That's what I do. So yeah, so I'm not.
So one thing we need to make sure we have up for the annual meeting is the, slate of board members. So I believe it's Sarah and Richard that are up this year. So I don't even like to ask, but I sort of hope you are both willing to continue.
Yes, I am willing to.
As long as you can have
Treasurer
it
or just a
either.
board member? Both?
Well, you only have to commit to being a board member,
Okay, we'll go with that.
but you gotta be a treasurer too.
Treasurer, we're not both agree. Okay.
So that I think needs to go up, so we have a month's notice.
Right.
So it's Richard. Yeah. And I don't, I'm good at verbiage.
Sure. I shouldn't have eaten that chocolate in the nuts in it. We're making my voice run.
Thanks for.
I pop chocolate, you know.
No, I probably do.
You got it.
Did we check in on your raffle? People got the raffle.
Yeah,
Yes.
I delivered mine.
This flag is being delivered before you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did get, I think it was 4 passes to, the Speedway to put into the raffle as well. Yeah. Carol Little, she's friends with the owner. I'm very happy to give it to us.
I'm working on the floor, but I signed up for.
You too.
So.
Now that I'm alive.
It's good, yeah, it's good to see you. Well, okay, and so I know that everything else is set for, Easter party.
I think so. Did people volunteer to help at the party? I do.
I just did, I saw her yesterday. Yeah, what kind of help do you need? Set up and clean up.
Set up and clean up and things like that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be there. I have a question though. It says rain date is Friday from like 1 to 3.
Mhm.
Kids have school that day? Then I
Yeah,
can't.
it's Good Friday.
I can't do Friday, I don't think, wait.
Well, hopefully it won't.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
I can do during, I should be able to do during and clean up, but probably not set up. But Friday I could do.
Did you talk to, anybody about bringing the Easter bunny
Yes,
in?
told Laurie that, yep,
We're good.
they're good to go. Yep.
And I have an Easter bunny.
What time do you need set up?
If it starts at 1, we'll probably start at 12.
Okay.
But I'll let you know if that changes for some reason. And we have been working on getting kids to help out, and I think I have about 5 teenagers right now who said they wanted to help. And we have teen night tomorrow night, so I'm gonna see if I can grab some of them. And one of the kids is gonna ask her friends to come too, so we should be good for teenagers helping out, I think. We'll see.
Do you need snacks, food, water, stuff? What else can we do?
I gave a check for that to, I
For water.
made it out to, well, it's $25, so it's for whatever,
Okay.
yeah. I made it out to Ari, but
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Works.
maybe it doesn't work if she's sick, maybe it should read.
Well, we can figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know, she had she sent a list out to see if people could bake anything, but I don't know what we've gotten back.
And buy stuff.
And buy stuff, yeah, so if you wanna bring any kind of food, you can always use that.
And it doesn't have to be individual stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
Yeah. No, I have to get candy and all. We're
So
gonna
is Ari not coordinating that at this point?
No, she is.
Oh, she
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So you need snacks?
Yes,
How many dozen do you want?
whatever you feel like making. Usually we have about 75 to 100 people who come. And we're gonna do things a little differently this year, because everybody expects an Easter egg hunt. And then seems to be disappointed when we don't have that. We're gonna hide more Easter eggs within the library. And they can find one, and when they find the one, they get a special prize, so hopefully it'll be last year we did that with 10 golden eggs. I think we're doubling it this year. And the kids really were happy with that. And it also gets them away into the library a little bit. The one thing we do tell them though is that they're not behind books. So,
Behind the shelf.
Yeah.
well, we might put some book on top, but yeah, but
We're
there's.
handing them dusters. They're gonna do that.
It was okay.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, no high shelves. It would be just for, well, there's gonna be ones for teenagers and there'll be ones that are harder for kids to. And we didn't have anything problems last year, so it worked out. So, yeah.
So we need to email you back if I can send you make you some cookies, email you back confirming that, or
Sure.
Okay.
Will do.
let me check the pantry.
I'll bring you stuff. But
I won't be here for that either, unfortunately, so.
Has scholarship information gotten posted?
No,
Sent to Berlin?
I know I've seen them posting about stuff, so. Usually we don't get anything from them, so they do Facebook board and scholarships do, so. Yeah, but I'll put it up on there.
And then the other thing, just in March, tax prep stuff,
That's all set. All of the information's been sent over to the accountants. So they're working on it.
I know you're a little bit, I know you talked about. Paying complaint.
Rolling, moving right along.
Yeah, we're moving on to old business. Let's see.
A lot going on in April, but.
Yes.
Yeah, busy April. Hard to believe April's coming soon. Let's see, 414 planning. Well, I got to the bottom of the issue with respect to where and when voting takes place. And the answer to the question is only in town hall and only on election day. Notwithstanding what we were told. I think there's confusion between the school election, the school district elections and the 414.
Yeah.
And Tim spoke to the attorneys and got them confused.
Okay, so everybody's on the same page now. Tim.
Yeah, no, Tim was just saying, no, we were wrong.
Okay, all right.
We just conflated the standard,
Okay.
basically. But- So, I mean, that basically brings us to November 2015. 2020.
But that
Back to
actually
yours, that's fine.
does eliminate the concern for having an expensive
Yes.
beyond election day. But
Yes,
it's more extra stuff.
it makes things very easy.
Yeah.
But it increases the concern of the difficulty of getting to the yes.
When you're at the notice,
Well, compared with it being here.
yeah, maybe.
But it gives us a much broader community
Yes.
vote, which is helpful.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
It-
yeah, well, thanks.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Only Steventown people can vote in that.
Yes.
Okay.
So, that's-
Yeah,
Yes.
So like even people like where Mary Trev comments
Yes.
and they have to call them all the way here to vote.
All the way here in Nassau.
Yeah, there's like 2 election districts,
But it's all-
only here. If you make a poll, when you go in, you see the 2 districts,
Yeah.
and you go to your particular district.
It seems like one's a lot busier than the other.
Yes. Because the other one's probably the one that's farther away. People don't bother coming.
I really don't know where Center City is.
Yeah, they're still looking for it.
They don't have signs.
That sound like 20, I'm like, really?
We're in Steventown, and we're out of Steventown.
Blink and it's gone.
So the other thing in 414, Richard started with some budget projections, and Richard, we were just gonna dig in a little deeper on that.
Sure.
We were gonna see if we could get some.
I was not able to do any comparisons on thing, but I had here, like, for example, building materials are up 50% over the last 4 years. And that would impact us specifically on any urban, any projects we want to get involved with. Just generally, fuel costs are, and this is since 2018, we're talking, if that's when we got the first 414, okay. Okay, so, I'll do a little bit more on that, but I still think that the 4% is scary enough. That we did when we said average 4% inflation. Now, they say the last 2 years, total inflation was 15%.
But it might be favorable to say, while overall. inflation
Well, the cost of books, where did the
this
cost of books
much,
go on?
We've, compared.
I mean,
It's
you
it's either comparable or, in line or better or whatever, so I
Well,
think.
like Barnes and Noble's books used to be like 25 and now they're 35.
Paperbacks.
Yeah, I mean, trade paperbacks are like
Yeah.
19, 20
Yeah.
dollars.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
And books on CDs are just nuts. I mean, that kind of stuff, but I mean, everything, that is delivered or has any sort of building like paper, which is a building material. It's kind of a snowball effect. I mean, I'll try to go a little bit deeper on that. It's kind of like, okay, fine, when we're acquiring books. And how many books do we acquire a year, ballpark?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd
Okay.
have to look that up. Over 100.
But it's not just the books, it's just the cost of running everything.
Well, no, I mean,
Yeah.
if you can zero in on certain things,
Yeah.
library or like internet cost is way up and, fuel oil cost and, physical plant cost, because I think one of the things that we cite about with the 414 is we want to make sure we promote the idea that we're so much more than just books. And that is value added to the entire community here in Steventown. And the more we can get that out there and just running a physical plant. But I certainly think books, if it's over 100, then books have gone up 25%. Start doing that, compare 2018 to current and then projecting
Right.
over the next 5 years. So that's, I'll try to go a little bit deeper on that. I just got caught up in the Pittsfield book sale. I'm sorry, that ran my life for the last month. We're just finally out of DEFCON 1, so finally working our way back up to normal.
I know that we've talked about it before, and I don't know if it was that Upper Hudson would do it, and it's preaching to the choir. But when you get the receipt in the library and it tells you how much the books were?
Yeah.
Is that anything Upper Hudson's working on? I know it's come up.
Some people have it on, so some libraries have the receipt printers.
Yeah.
And they can program it to do that, but we don't have the receipt printer, so.
Uh,
We could easily figure it out by looking at someone's account, because it tells you on the account how many items you've checked out over your lifetime. We don't know what they are,
Right.
but it's just the number. So like, I looked at mine and it was something crazy in the 10,000s. So you can then take that and then just multiply it by 20 and you get an idea of how much money you're saving based on.
I think we did that on social media like 4 years ago or more, because I remember calculating that, like, there was like a little calculator.
Yeah, there's a calculator thing that we can do. I was looking at putting that onto the website, but I just haven't found the right place for it. And so, we could do something like that during, library month or.
And that is, obviously it's people that already use the library and support the library, but it might just help people realize just how much value
It could also, I mean, we could put it on social media, make it a social media campaign where we take a picture and say, I saved, $20,000 by using the library.
Yeah.
Putting it onto,
That's a
you know,
really
like,
good, yeah.
Robinson did that
Put it on the
last.
list. Millions.
a few, exactly.
People be flocking to the library to save money.
We could monetize
They got-
those clicks.
That's right.
They got to, but you didn't say that.
So my count would
When their
include
library
that
has
too.
stellar numbers.
That would be really cool to be able to do that.
Yes. We have to look and make sure. That's what it is, but yeah, I mean, so we can work on, something like that might be fun to, we've got patrons who'd be interested, I'm sure, in doing something like that.
Yeah.
Especially, when we were homeschooling, I mean, I was getting 100 books at a time. And, like, it was crazy how much money we saved on that. See if maybe one of, someone from the staff wants to maybe work on that.
And that could be both for the 414 communications and also for the impact report.
Yeah, we can do that for the next year's impact report. So I think, the other thing we need to do on that is just do a little bit more finessing of the numbers, the projections, and, decide on what that is gonna be that we wanna ask for, and then with that, how frequently we think we would wanna go back, assuming we get the yes, in 2025. And I think we kind of came to an idea of like every 2 years, like a reasonable number. Just make sure we feel comfortable with the number we're asking for based on that. And then I think at that point, it's really getting down to then we can just start on planning messaging. We've got plenty of time for all of the specific messaging. And we're building up in the meantime. Everything we're doing was really trying to make sure we're clear on the value and everything we're doing to build up our lists of supporters. And that was one thing I wanted to mention. I think anytime we can get email addresses and get people to sign up for the newsletter or agree to get emails from us would be really beneficial, because it's just so hard to reach people otherwise. So they get programs and things like that, even more than the donation jar, it would be beneficial to get an email from people so that we know that we can, reach them again.
So just, on the card, the registration card now, I have a sticker on all of the cards that says, sign me up for the newsletter, yes or no. And most people say yes. We've had a few people say no, but that at least is going into seeing that. So I think I've added at least 10 people to the newsletter.
Awesome.
Yeah, might also be able to add like a pop-up screen on the website, encouraging people to do that as well.
We could, I thought about that. They irritate me so much that
I hate that so much. When you go to a website,
Just want to close it,
it's like
right.
boom,
Yeah.
and it's like.
It depends on what language, want to make sure you're keeping up to date on everything, because,
Yeah.
I've spoken to a lot of people who like they're not keeping up with Facebook, right? So, and, feel bad that they missed something or didn't do something in time, so you could try it for a few weeks and see if it works.
Maybe it'll bring that million number down too.
Some, I don't know what our website does for the option, but some of them have an option, so it's not immediate. It's, however many seconds in, or, second click or something, so that you're not being.
That's right, yes, that's true.
Okay, I'll look into.
Just a
seeing
little
what it is.
obnoxious.
Right.
Totally.
It redeems itself. Look, I'm missing that it's nice.
I'm looking at yours, sorry, I got too many tabs open here. Let's talk about, let's talk about the US HLS raise stuff. Because there's, we have to decide on that tonight, and I think there's some stuff to talk about. Has everybody had a chance to
look it over.
Yes.
And did anybody want to share any initial thoughts or? So our deadline is April 5th to decide if we're going to sign the memo of intent. If we decide to, we have until December 26th to complete the work. There is an incentive of $500 after completion of each action area. There's 8 areas, so you have the potential of getting $4,000 total.
And they give you assistance in ways of completing, right? That was my impression, that there's some sort of, you're not just on your own.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they tell you what they want you to do. I don't know if they're giving you assistance to do that per se.
This is the equity challenge about.
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So the 8 areas, you've got, that you don't have to do all of them in each of them, but you have to do quite a few of each of them. So, 4 of 6, 7 of 9, 5 of 6, 5 of 7, 4 of 6. So in total, there was 41 items total that you have to do over those years. There's a tracking sheet. The tracking sheet, to be fair, looks fairly, what would I say? Low bar, I guess. Like it just says, here's your task, here's what it is, what's your concern. So I'm not sure that they're requiring like a whole lot of proof or whatever, or even like a lot of backup documentation. So that seems like that part of it isn't necessarily a high bar. But, and there, so I don't, let me just start talking, somebody else talk first. What about your impression?
I actually like what they're doing, but I think the challenge we have in a community that is, depending on what markers you're using, is not particularly diverse, is selling a diversity program and figuring out how you do these things in a way that is effective and not alienating. Which is, I think, really interesting. I remember I asked this question at one of the annual meetings where I forget the woman who was discussing a racial equity issue. And sort of, and she had really fascinating, she was really very, very interesting. I said, but how do you work these concepts into an area which not to say that the issues aren't there, but the diversity isn't there.
Yeah.
And how do you move people in such communities to, if not think about diversity, sort of work in the area in a sort of in a quiet way, where your library presents these issues and creates the opportunity to learn about it, and doesn't necessarily push people into it or raise it in a way that is all that noticeable, but nevertheless, it's there and available and it works. So that becomes more of a natural kind of thing. My concern about all of this, the DEI stuff is not the content. My concern about the DEI stuff is that a certain segment of the population is not going to turn it off. And which is unfortunate because, I mean, and if you take a look at the Upper Hudson materials, it's a much broader concept of diversity.
Right,
I
yeah.
mean, when people hear DEI, they're thinking race, religion, sort of areas which are areas of unfortunately cleavage, but it's also handicapped access.
Right,
And
and
the programming is
different-
allergen-free food.
I mean, it's all, it's,
They also want the book club, they want the book club to have a diverse.
yeah, so I mean.
And a lot of stuff more audit than even doing, a lot of it is becoming aware of what you are currently doing and.
That's right.
Improving our own ability to recognize and embrace stuff,
Mhm.
not so much, mean, and we do, you're just talking about what was it, the Chinese New Year
Yeah,
program,
yeah.
and we do things that aren't the dominant culture. If you can fit into some of this stuff. I think some of them are easier than others, but you don't have to.
You don't have to do all of them, right?
So say all of that.
Somewhere in all these documents, I read what their definition of diversity was. And we just made that point. It's not including age, right? It's not including economic diversity. And that in this community, not having, if those things don't count for them, then it limits, what they would see us actually doing, because we do things for seniors. We are addressing economic diversity, so.
I'm not so sure that, I mean, that's worth a question, I'm saying, in terms of there's certain rigidity there. Are you amenable to broadening out categories? And the answer may very well be.
It might be.
I mean, knowing the people there, I think the answer is indeed yes.
Yeah, I just didn't see it. I mean, they have.
Yes, no, you're right.
It's odd to me, knowing the people who are there, that those things were not included, that they were what you see,
They do seem to be in the specifics though, like when
Yeah.
you're looking at specifics, it's like, is it based on age and literacy level and income level and stuff. Like, this is just one programming, but like some of the, specific activities do seem to include that broader range.
Well, that's good,
And-
because like
and
the
some-
articles were, a lot of this was, exactly what you would normally.
Think that
somebody,
would-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good.
And some of the stuff is stuff that really we should do, like, there's one on, inviting someone who has access issues to give you feedback on how
Yeah.
accessible the library, I mean, like, those are things we should just do, so it's like, to give us a reason to document that we did it, I don't think is a bad thing.
And I think it will also be helpful if we do it to make more of an argument in favor of the library going forward with the 414s, and we do them every 2 years. Here are things that we've done to reach out to members of the community that haven't necessarily had access in the past, or, I think it would be helpful for that.
And there was stuff like staff, I didn't really look at the staff learning, but I can remember when I had a woman on my staff at the Trevor Library who didn't trust this kid and thought he was always lying to her. And the kid hated going to her and would go out in the adult section rather than go to her. And basically what it was he was of a culture that kids did not look adults in the eye. It was disrespectful. And she wanted him to look her in the eye. And she, so when there's like little things like that you can, and nobody outside's gonna get turned off by it or anything, because nobody's gonna know, it's just within your staff. I think there's a lot we can do with all of that.
That was my sense. I looked at this up then, because my initial approach was, what's this about and how does this work for us? And it struck me that there were a lot of options, a lot of things that you could, exactly what you said, it's sort of like, you can do these practices, it's seamless for us, it's not obvious, not that you're hiding it, but I'm just saying, you're not out there proselytizing in connection with this, pushing people there, but you're creating opportunities, and it's sort of a mindfulness in operating the library in a way that you can, it's almost like a checklist. You can am I covering this thing? Am I thinking about this thing? And I thought that was really, really good.
It's sort of a reframing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and reminders of what we should be doing.
Yeah.
You just don't think about it unless it's in front of you.
So when I look at this, I think the numbers are, I'm pulling this out of my rear end here, but I would say there's about a third of the items that are things that we would want to do anyway, that we can leverage towards other activities that we want to do that are priorities.
Yeah.
I'd say there's a third of things that are stuff that we're not good at doing, which is like all the, what are your policies, what are your this, what's your statements, we're behind on all of that. We can't get to all that. So this would be an additional burden in that area that we're already not doing well in. Or would it be an impetus to get moving? Maybe. And there's a third that I think would be difficult for us to do, including some of the staff stuff, like staff learning, like having somebody, they're outside of our normal wheelhouse. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do them, but just to say that they're definitely, like, we don't do it now, we have to make an effort, and we don't, it's not on our radar to do necessarily. So whereas the 2/3 of it, you might say, like, we either should be doing, or we wanna do and all that, so it could be a good fit. And even though if it's more work, it's work that we should do anyway. Probably 1/3 of it is questionable in that.
This isn't an all or nothing thing, though. We can accept the challenge and pick up as much low-lying fruit as we can,
Yeah.
and then continue to try to improve. But if we don't meet
Start somewhere.
all of them by 2025, we still have met some benchmarks in which there's a financial reward, right?
I think the financial part is just to support different programming.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's only a memo of intention.
Right.
I mean, so signing in blood, you know, yeah, I mean, we have nothing to lose.
Right.
No
Right.
clawbacks, no penalty.
Right.
Right.
Audits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that being said, I think it's a good idea.
I do too. I do too. Great.
Yeah, it's not like the incentive here, you know.
Yeah,
It's an ongoing effort, so I think
Yeah,
your point
yes,
is,
yeah.
do what we can. and if we
Right,
reach
right.
all of
It's not
those.
like we're gonna penalize or,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's, that's things that.
oh, I love the opposite time
Yes,
slot.
the
Yeah,
opposite
try
time slot.
something,
Yeah.
if you have a
Really
program,
cool.
try an opposite time
Yeah.
slot to see if you attract different people, or a program that, you know.
Yeah.
That you might have.
A little different about counter programming, you know, battles of the.
Now's the time.
The simple things with changing story time is you can get a different parent. So like, instead of if mom's always when it comes, like a dad.
Yeah. We have to pay Rebecca and Cheryl more than. That's the only problem.
Do we need to vote on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we get a motion?
I motion that we adopt or accept the challenge or sign the memorandum, whatever it is. I motion we do.
I motion we do.
I second it.
All in favor? Okay, so we will. It looks like it's you, from who signs it?
Oh, it's me? Okay.
So as with everything, I continue to be a broken record on, my concern is who's gonna manage this task?
Right.
Even just, yeah, but that's not the answer, that's really gonna work. That's what's gonna happen, everything is gonna be.
How do we slice it and dice it?
Right,
Yeah.
that's the
I
thing.
will create a spreadsheet of all of this stuff and work with you to see what ones we're checking off if we would like.
That'd be great. That would be
Yeah,
good.
this doesn't
Thank
seem
you.
so dissimilar from what you did before with the
Yeah.
strategic plan.
See what activities match
So
up against
hopefully
it.
this
see
will
what-
be
I
more
mean-
useful and continue.
I think this will be good. So yes, thank you. That'd be great. Thank you, Lisa.
So we wanna have an ongoing, what do you call it, standing agenda item, where we just check in on this, so we have,
That's a good idea.
this is the only agenda I didn't get saved on. Maybe it'll motivate us.
Or various thermometers for the dairy.
Right.
Ponds.
Right.
I mean, that $4,000 would be useful for program type activity. things like that, so.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking of things like equipment, you know, I have books that are in Braille, say for someone who can't see. But we don't have things like an adaptive equipment that they can use to make things bigger, either on a computer or on the book, like that kind of stuff. You know, and I know we have people who could use that stuff, so if we can offer that, and if we can get that money to go towards something like that too, I think that would be great. So.
Oh, that
Maybe we could,
puts me in mind of something that's sort of related. When we were at book group on Tuesday, someone was saying that these chairs, they sit down and they cannot get. They're basically here for the rest of the year.
It was the man-eating chair.
The man-eating, you know, oh, how nice and soft. Well, everybody's knees are going and they can't get out of it.
It is hard to get out.
We need a warning light.
No, they're one.
We won't find it.
It is.
So now, we need to we have new sitting options.
Or different seating options.
Yeah.
People, I know a lot of people would be not happy if those things went, those are like, everyone loves those chairs, but if you get some
There
different
were some other
ones.
ones that
Yeah.
people.
Almost everyone, right?
Almost.
Disappear.
Well,
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the kinds of things we can think about. and use for that.
And as we go through the project, we can think about things that we could meet, that we,
Mhm.
It might be an opportunity to reach out to Loren, in her role.
Oh,
as
yeah.
With the Braille, and the
Books.
collection.
Yep.
I don't know, I did without looking at it carefully, but maybe that could even count as a staff training thing.
Mhm.
So that she came in to talk about those resources.
Have we had any patrons that are looking for?
I have had one person, and the reason I think about her is because she's losing her sight slowly, knows it's going, and is gonna try and teach herself how to read Braille, so I have some children's books in Braille that we gave to her. But I haven't seen her in a while, so I don't know where things are, but if we had had these other things that we could have either loaned to her or whoever, or had available here, that would have, I'm sure, helped her, so. Yeah. And I do know that there's other people who might be able to use it. but-
Oh, yeah, I mean, and the population aging so much here, it seems like we're gonna have a lot of macular degeneration going on in short order, I would think.
Yeah. And, there's like systems for people who can't hear, there's so much, there's so much. that we can do.
It seems like Laurel Library trying to increase accessibility for folks. Probably foundations. Like the Orchid Society was very active. I don't know if they're doing.
Which
I think this looks like the Orchid Society, books on tape and stuff like that. That was a while back when,
Okay, but maybe.
but I'm just saying there, I mean, there may be organizations out there that support those kinds of activities and provide options or support.
Have the blood pressure cuffs been checked out at all?
No.
they just call you instead. 911, we don't do that.
Just culture.
But yeah.
We are putting the app, the blood pressure cuffs on the new tablets, so people could take them and use them together in case it's something that they want, so we'll see. And just once the tablets come back to us, we wipe them clean of everything, even if this goes back to what we had on there originally, so.
That's fine, it's easy after the blood pressure stuff.
We're using the things that we don't want them to be using it for. That will be on.
Can we stop?
Things to get the blood pressure
Yeah,
going.
Yeah, there's some controls and.
Yeah. What was that?
I just said things to get their blood pressure going.
Well, it's a good way to then test the blood.
Is that something we should bring like to the, I mean, we probably have to the senior meeting?
The blood pressure
gatherings,
Yeah,
and,
that's what I was, is everybody aware, like, are the older people aware that we have them, I don't think. But,
It's the same awareness problem, I think, as with many things, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I think that wave of getting a free blood pressure machine if you were diagnosed with high blood pressure, I think that was like a big thing for like a couple of years. I don't think that's happening.
Hmm.
So I think there's a new market.
They have a senior meeting here in Steventown. I know there's one down in, New London twice a month.
Mhm.
Their senior group.
They have their meetings over at the fire, or at the town hall. Yeah. But now that you're on, she's on my list.
We had some people from Steventown to go to that.
What's that?
We had some people at Steventown that go to that one.
So,
Yeah.
we reach out.
There's some cross, you know.
Well, you should tell them they're in the wrong town. and go home.
I'm in the wrong town, I'm gonna go home.
Maybe we should, enlist Eliza to, she seems to be going to the seniors thing.
Well, no, it'd be good to promote it to see which.
Yeah, I mean, she seems to want to be involved in things.
Where they vote.
Yeah.
They vote.
Maybe. Okay.
I mean, I'd be happy to go representing, you know, a certain age group, so, you know.
Sure, if you wanna do that, that would be.
I mean, it's not actually very old, the cutoff is like 50 or something. I thought, 55, yeah, young,
Except
Spring-
22-year-old.
spring chicken. True.
You can join when you're 60.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's the point?
You can join what when you're 60?
Yeah.
What, why?
How's that?
They will be.
Yeah, the
Because they'll
discount.
take anybody's money.
Their
Yeah.
discounts, you know.
I started getting mail.
So I'm sorry, when is that meeting? And
Um.
to get us to the first one?
Today.
I missed it.
Yeah.
What is it? Two Wednesdays in a month, right?
Thursday, I think it's the Thursday,
Is it the first and third
I think
Thursday of
so.
the month?
Something.
It's not Facebook because that is.
One to 11 is the
I would
first, the first and third, first and third Fridays is the 11th. First one is the business meeting, third month is the food meeting. So it's
First and third Friday is 11.
Friday at the new town hall or town center, whatever they call it, the old firehouse.
Steventown is first and third Thursdays of each month at 1 p.m. Anyone over 50, membership is $10 a year.
Yeah,
Yes, are welcome.
How big is the one here? Is it a pretty good size?
They're not like that.
Yeah.
11's about.
Oh, really? It's not out.
Yeah.
Lebanon's a hot one.
New Lebanon is bigger.
Hopping.
I don't know how better it is.
Now they're just older.
Gee, they're better at being old.
This is more like 15 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good size.
Thank you for volunteering to go there. We can talk. Okay, so the other thing we were gonna talk about, just touch base on, we don't have to decide tonight again, but is thinking about our committees and our approach for that. Committees have gotten real loose and amorphous, and, you know, thinking about what we have for priorities for this year. Do folks have a thought of how we wanna approach this? I know it often ends up that it's kind of, the committees end up not being the same people a lot of the times anyway. And so is that useful? Is it, how do we, are they useful for actually getting work done? You know, do we want to, we tried one extra meeting, a working meeting during, which I think was helpful as we talked through the fourth quarter. We might want to do one more of those to kind of finalize those things, and then we have a plan going forward, and then there can be just a small committee that's kind of moving those steps forward. But again, it kind of crosses over, and it ends up being, you know, it's marketing, it's this, it's fundraising, it's all kind of intertwined in some way. So I'm not sure what the best approach is at this point. I don't know if folks have any further thoughts at this time. I know usually it's after the annual meeting that we officially do our next group of committees and things like that. So open it up for thoughts and what people think might work. We sort of, I think officially just got a committee with equity committee.
Well, I think the marketing obviously would continue as it has, and they're still funding and marketing to the extent that they're connected with, they often are. That's cool. We'll keep doing that once a month, every month. It seems like the thing that's fallen through the cracks the most and is the policy stuff. And I know you're keeping up with it as best you can, but it would be, I think, helpful if somebody on the board was kind of pushing that along and working with you and you know, working with upper and for language and templates and things like that, and make it easier for you, so you're not so tied up with it.
Policy stuff. I'm waiting, I can draft it and get it.
Internet policy. That's the one, that's the big thing we need to have that we.
I'll pull a couple together.
Is that on this challenge, is that on the newest?
I have one that I basically copied and pasted from Albany. And then it was looked at.
It's, I mean, I thought of, when I started looking at other libraries' policies, it was sort of interesting because you see sort of some of the issues folks have. And some of the policies are more successful, some of the policies are clearer. Sort of, none of the policies, you don't, I've not found one policy you go, this is really good. We ought to copy this one.
Well, if you wanna, if that would be the first
So,
one, I'd say, that
okay.
we can get going on that.
Send me whatever you have.
Okay.
Let me take a look at it and then I'll cast it a little wider.
Okay.
There's also supposed to be a schedule where every 5 years you're reviewing all of the policies, and depending on when the policy was drafted, it would be 5 years hence, and I think we have it, something that.
Right, right,
Yeah,
this
that
spreadsheet
actually-
of that.
And it needs to just, I mean, maybe it's fine, and you don't need to do anything, but you need to look at it again and see if it needs to be updated, I think is the deal.
I think if we are able to do what we said we're going to try to do, which was like one policy or two policies per meeting, where we just kind of, okay, this is to be reviewed this time, and for approval of the following one. If we can have the discipline to do that, I think it will help us get through them. I know it's hard because other things come up and there's other priorities.
Which is why we just need that sheet of here's when this is coming due, this is the one that, and there's just one or two that we don't have that we need.
It's a big one that we don't have right now. We have these, but the other things.
There's a whistleblower one I saw we didn't have, but.
In the annual report.
In the annual report, yeah.
Which I found interesting because it's not like the annual report, you say you don't have these policies and then they come back and say we need them. It's just like, no, we don't.
Okay.
Because I was reading it.
That's what I think.
But if I hit the one looking at it.
So that's something that leads to, a committee would probably be helpful because it would just keep it front and center and move it along. And then what about grounds, things related to the grounds?
I know, we kind of deferred that in the master plan, kind of folded it in for a while, but, the question is, what is that building and grounds committee going to do? Is there work that can be done, or are we really just in name and then Kim's doing it all?
Well,
I mean, you're talking about, would the building and grounds people be responsible for trying to coordinate someone to give you an idea of how to fix the backyard?
That can be temporarily on hold, because we're getting some town support for that.
Okay.
coming up. But,
But as far as like,
Right,
the front staircase, the rail and
yeah.
it's the more.
The tree pruning,
trees.
we need to add the improvements.
Mhm.
Right, so capital improvement or operations or, yeah, but that's.
What's major projects? What is
That was the master plan and
Okay.
the renovation now, so.
Okay.
And that's gonna, if we get the word soon,
We're not gonna look at it until June.
but that's soon, I mean, that's.
That's right.
That's soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's gonna kick in a different level of attention that we're gonna have to pay to that.
The hard part is that, like, so, we've had lights going out quite a bit in the community room, so that would be someone, if we had a building and grounds committee, I would probably say, okay, well, why don't I just call whoever, but then that person would then call whoever, when I have my cell phone right here and I can just text them and say, hey, can you come take this, take a look at this. So it's kind of then becomes, who do we call, who do we say, who, and so if we do have that kind of a committee, it has to be really clear, like, what am I calling this person for, what am I not calling, what am I, So it's kind of, it becomes ambiguous, but there's things that, that we need. When we had to put all the picnic tables away, that would have been something a building and grounds committee person could have said, hey, I need some volunteers, let's go do this, instead of it just being, one person doing the work. So I guess trying to figure out, like, coming up with a big plan of what it is that they're responsible for and what
Right.
not, or
I
even
think
having a check-in time with me that we could say, all right, the screen's ripped over here, I need someone to do that, this is wrong. You know, that kind of thing once a month, or I can see that being a help.
Some of that stuff, though, it almost seems like an ad hoc committee would be more useful, and it could be library board members and the public. For example, the picnic tables, putting out the word, hey, we need 6 people. I'm gonna be in charge of this, I'm gonna get 6 people. Doesn't matter who they are, we're gonna get this, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think an ad hoc committee for a specific thing would be way more useful to you.
Absolutely, no, I agree. Cause there, I mean, yeah, I didn't put those things away because I was just like, I didn't have the time, I don't have, and I can't carry all that stuff right now. That's just, so, yeah. I mean, even things that we need to have the lines have to be painted in the parking lot again, if we're going out. All these little things that are happening, we can definitely use somebody who's kind of coordinating all that. That's a lot for my head.
So, having someone that can work with you to sort of create the list of items and work out the plan, some of which might be that you are dealing directly with, and some of which might be that they are, or they are seeking other help to do either specific tasks or. Is there anyone that feels like they could head that up right now? Problem right now.
I'm trying to decide if I can or not. You know how I never commit this stuff.
Maybe between us, we could do some sort of tag team thing.
Yeah.
Or you'll do it, and I'll just say I'm your backup. But anyway, let's.
Yeah, we can talk about it, yeah.
So let's see if we can, how this group goes, if it seems like it makes sense. We can give it a month or two, see if it seems like it's working, if people feel comfortable with it. And we'll adjust the agenda accordingly to have these touch on each.
And do we still have that spreadsheet of all the policies and when they're, so maybe if you can share that with Scott, I probably have it on that computer right there.
You allow non-board members to serve on committees?
Who are you thinking of?
We haven't had a lot of luck with that. I mean, we haven't pursued it greatly, but. We haven't.
Biggest thing, the youth commission is always the one that we have a lot of, that's the successful part. They folks to help out.
Is, was Vicky, any thought of Vicky was helping recently?
Oh, you know what, I'll talk to her tomorrow, that's nice, that was one of those things that just went right over my head.
Something what?
Youth committee,
Oh, yeah.
she likes that stuff.
I mean, she has said many, you know, that she's happy to help with things, so, you know, I'm sure that we can. Actually, yeah, I'm sure we can handle that.
Recruitment has always just more been a, ad hoc and what we're supposed to, everybody's supposed to do that. And then we're supposed to have an annual meeting committee, but we don't really need committees, we're not really doing that. We have to listen. Yes. And putting together the agenda, and it's just usually your report, financial report, youth committee report. Maybe we can decide to do something different, but I don't think for this year, next year, we probably want to do something more robust.
Yeah.
This year, unless anybody has any strong opinions, I think.
I think you do enough, community building type things that, used to be that we would do have a big potluck, and that would be one time when everyone got together, but we're doing that
Throughout
with
the
all the
year.
other stuff that we're doing, so I don't think that it's as necessary.
And youth committee, did you talk about the camp stuff yet?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that was really,
Yeah, very good, yeah.
yeah.
I'm surprised that they're willing to try and see if they can get a spigot going into the outside, and that they're looking, yes, we're gonna put electricity out, yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
really, yeah, very, very positive.
Was that Frank? It must have been Frank. That was Henry? It was Henry. Wow.
Yeah, and it definitely, it all makes it seem like it can be not just a temporary 1 year, but, a couple years, solution that really works well, yeah. Okay. All right, public comment, no public. I don't have any correspondence. Anybody else have any correspondence? Any, did we do? No, I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
Still have plenty of. Okay.
New business?
I do have a weird request. No, it's just, Wednesday, the director of the Pittsfield Library came to me and he said, a man from Steventown, whose partner is just been put into a retirement community, wanted some opera CDs. And he wanted to know if we had any, and we do, but I did not know if any of you might, off the top of your head, know who this gentleman might be, because I have a huge selection of opera CDs that I'm not sure I'm going to get rid of them, but I'd be more than happy to share. But I mean, I did not know if, and Alex, the director, he told me to get me the guy's name. But I haven't heard from him yet. I just didn't know if this group had any idea who that might be.
I haven't heard, but that doesn't mean.
And, well, I think what he said is he came here and he said they had no classical CDs, which you don't. You might
We have
have.
some.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
No, I don't think.
We have a few, but nothing like what he was looking
No, no,
No.
but we could get him that kind of stuff.
for. Well, I understand that, but he basically was like, at Pittsfield, they don't have much of it either. I mean, I know you can order it, but it might be more, I was just wondering if anybody happened to know who it might be.
I'll ask,
I
I'll
feel like I
ask
would make
Chris.
sound guess, but it's so ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's obviously someone from my side of the street who has, probably my age-ish and who has a partner.
Yeah, I'll ask, the staff may know, they might.
They may, because I think he came here looking and he just said, well, he doesn't have near enough what I'm looking, he specifically looking for opera, is what I was told.
It's not Richard too.
Huh?
It's not Richard too.
Oh, my square, no.
I know. I'm joking.
My square, if he wants opera, he just looks at his office and there's a wall of it, so he doesn't have a problem with that.
Find out, I might have a few to contribute as well, I think
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to expand your collection here or not, that's totally your call, you don't have room for it, that's the other problem.
We don't have room for it, and
Yeah.
our CDs barely ever.
No, and that's what I remember when I was working here, if I ever got a pull for a CD, it was a miracle.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't play.
No,
I just
they-
met an opera singer at the Met, whose name is Alfred Walker, and he's gonna be Porgy. He was in the Porgy and Bess that, I went to see with Janet, or Janet was there, he might have been there too. And he's gonna be Porgy, I'm just thinking, like, and his wife is a Pilates instructor in the Berkshires near us, so I was gonna go. I'm trying to find a way to keep in contact with this guy, because we also had a old friend in common, so.
So he lives in this area?
Yes, he lives in this area.
Oh, possibilities.
Yeah, I was thinking he could come and talk about
Yeah.
his experience.
That would be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Keep going with
I'm
that,
finding
those
my way.
Pilates.
I'm going to those Pilates.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, and they're,
Willing to give away, so.
well, we don't need them at the Pittsfield Library right now.
No,
our book
but
sale,
if you
because
find
they
the
don't-
person-
they-
Yeah, but I mean, direct to the guy.
Yeah, they do not sell it. We had a huge collection come in, which is gorgeous. What's
I'll
that?
let everybody know if.
And that's at 50 cents a CD. They don't sell.
Really?
Oh, man.
No one listens to no one listens to CDs.
No.
Ours don't have them, I'm pretty-
In your car, I mean, you listen more? Yeah, it's just like, oh, I remember lucky.
I was gonna say, we have like incorporated in.
Oh, yeah.
No, vinyl, yes, and there's also been.
Yeah, we sell better on vinyl than we did on CDs. We price vinyl, believe it or not, for $2 a throw. And
Well, that's
we-
popular,
and
yeah.
even 45s, we sold about 200 of them for 50 cents each.
They're huge
Yeah.
right now. I did listening to a vinyl record
Yeah,
just today as I was leaving
Yeah.
the house.
no, so I've got some in my car that I'm taking over to the guy in Dalton to see if I can get some money for him because, you know. they don't
Records are
do
really
sales.
expensive
Mhm.
right now.
Oh, no, I mean, he had things that we sell for 50 cents and he was selling for $20.
Right,
I was like, really? So I upped our price to all of $2 and we
Yeah.
still sold it.
oh, yeah.
They're very.
That was just good. I mean, if you happen to know, just, if you've got a bunch as well, I mean, it would be great to help the guy out.
Yeah.
because-
I'll let you know.
Did we cover everything? I apologize again for not being here for the first.
Yeah, I wish people could schedule their medical.
It's like going, you know, like up to 6 o'clock, there was quite a lot of people up there.
Notice the website, no medical emergency between 6:30 and 9.
Yeah, we were lucky we didn't have to actually move far enough to get them, but.
I was gonna talk to you about it after the
You
meeting.
just have a really beautiful speaking
Yeah,
voice.
we don't have to do it.
I was bored.
Work smart, not harder.
Oh, should I stop this recording or?
I think.
Oh, yeah, motion to adjourn.
I will see now.
Patty motion, we will second.
Right now.
Richard seconded.
Humble meeting.
Thank you.
And I asked him if he would.
Are you nervous?